this morning, there's something that I feel compelled to talk to you about. As we have been in the midst of our summer sermon series, I'll take the opportunity to speak to you about things from the pulpit, but I haven't had that opportunity because we've been in the midst of this series. But there's something I think that we need to discuss. You know, last week I was approached and asked what I had to say about the atrocities of the preceding days. And, you know, I thought to myself, any other time I would have something to say, but I wish it were that easy this time. It just isn't. And I don't know what to say, but I do know how I feel. And I'm tired. Many folks look at me and they've seen it on me this week, the fatigue. It's not just because of everything that I do, but this week I'm tired. I'm tired, like many of you are tired. I'm tired of turning on the news, and tired of turning on social media and seeing some other brother being murdered while in police custody. I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing the ignorant responses of news media and those on social media who have the audacity to say that this is not racial. I'm tired. I'm tired of having to give my kids another lecture on how to stay alive.
Amen. I'm
tired. Because, you know, especially the killing of Philando Castillo frightens me.
Right.
Because, you know, when you can do everything correctly, and after you identify yourself as legally carrying a firearm, and when you reach for your driver's license and registration, you are shot dead while being seatbelted in your car. That's frightening.
It certainly is.
I'm tired. And I'm angry. I'm tired of weeping and trying to pray myself back to some level of sanity. While inside, there's a churning. I'm frustrated. The murders of Alton Sterling and Philando Castillo and the assassination of 5 police officers in Dallas who were simply trying to protect people in a peaceful protest has shone a light on a nation that has yet to rise above the violence and race that has been so apparent. And that, in my opinion, has taken a step backward to a time when the killing of black men was all too common. And in this, I'm really reminded of how far we have not come. How far we have not come. And I'm tired of having to assert that black lives matter to an intransigent American society. I'm tired. We've been here too many times. We've been here with Trayvon and Sandra and Freddie and Tamir and Mike and Eric and Alton and Philando. And I'm frustrated. And I don't know exactly what to say. But I do know that we stand at a critical time in history. And I would simply say at this point, I know how I feel. And as we craft whatever response there is to craft in our community, I had to boil it down to this. My goal as a father and as a pastor of people is to make sure that my children and my people get home alive. My dear friend, Dr. Eddie Glaude, who came here a couple of years ago and spoke at our Absalom Jones Day celebration. He's a professor at Princeton. He's chair of the African American Studies Department. He wrote a letter to his son, which was published in Time Online in the aftermath of the killings, which I believe, for me, when I read it, encapsulated what it feels like to be at this perilous place in this peculiar time. And so I want to share that letter with all of you today. And Eddie's son's name is Langston, and Langston is a rising junior at Brown University. He says, "Dear Langston, I thought of you when I saw the son of Alton Sterling weeping at a press conference. It was the latest of a string of haunting public rituals of grief. The police had killed another black person. His cries made me think of you. It seems ever since the murder of Trayvon Martin, and you were only 15 then, that you have had to come to terms with this pressing fact, that police can wantonly kill us, and there seems to be little or no protection, that even I can protect you." I remember the day when the grand jury in Cleveland declined to indict the police officers who killed Tamir Rice. We were in an airport traveling home. You cursed out loud and paced like a trapped animal. I didn't know how to speak to your rage. It was familiar to me, but I didn't know what to say. How could I keep it from seeping in and coloring your soul a deep shade of blue? And when I read your Facebook posts in response to the death of Sterling and Philando Castillo, I felt the sting of your anger. It was too familiar. You are indeed your grandfather's and your father's child. James Baldwin wrote, and you know how much I love Baldwin, in the uses of the blues, that in every generation, ever since Negroes have been here, every Negro mother and father has had to face that child and try to create in that child some way of surviving this particular world, some way to make the child who will be despised not despise himself. He wrote that in 1964. And here we are in 2016. And I am worried about the state of your spirit. Worried that the ugliness of this world and the nastiness of some of the white people who inhabit it might dirty you on the inside, might take away your infectious smile and replace it with a permanent scowl. I find myself more often than not And upon reflection, this is an astonishing thing to say, no less think. Wishing you were 7 years old again. You were adorable at 7. The vexations of the teenage years were far off, and you still like me. But I say this not because I find having an empty nest unbearable, although at times I do, or that I long to raise a teenager again, and eventually you would be that maddening teenager again. I just say it because I feel that you would be safer at home with us. Those tears, son, shook me. Diamond Reynolds' 4-year-old baby consoling her mother made me tremble. I love you. And I don't know what I would do if anything ever happened to you. But I am proud to see your radical rage, your refusal to believe what this world says about you. Keep fighting. And remember, as your grandmother reminds me with all of the wisdom that Mississippi living can muster, that I won't stop worrying about you until I die. Love, Dad. So today, my goal is simply that we stay alive. And so I want to share with you this morning some information, a video that will give us some information about how to do that as we negotiate the streets and even have to negotiate with those who are sworn to serve and protect us.
Number 9, if you are arrested, do not make any statement